I really shouldn't even have to introduce Rocky, but for those of you who don't know, there are a series of boxing films that all revolve around the life of fictional boxer Rocky Balboa. In the first film, Rocky is introduced as a second-rate fighter looking for a quick buck, but after a fight with heavyweight champion Apollo Creed, he slowly starts to rise up in the ranks. Back in the 70s, when the first film came out, people could actually relate to the character, and since then, the series has generated over $1 billion in revenue worldwide. And yes, it even has its share of video games. But not very many. In fact, this GameCube version is the first Rocky video game to come out in almost 15 years. So when you first turn it on, you're treated to a 60-second montage of the series, and then it's on to the menus. Here you'll be able to choose from Movie Mode, Knockout Tournament, Exhibition Match, Gallery, and Sparring Mode. With the exception of Gallery, they all pretty much fall under either Story Mode or Free Play Mode. That's what the Movie Mode is. It basically takes you through the first 5 Rocky films, from Apollo Creed all the way to the final showdown with Tommy Gunn. In a previous Rocky game, one could actually expect to see 3, maybe 4 boxers to fight, but here there's a total of 30. That's pretty impressive. There's also a ton of stages in the game as well, from the chapel at the beginning of the first film to the street showdown from Rocky V. And the attention to detail in each stage is surprising. Even that stained glass window from the chapel is accurately recreated. So in the movie mode, you'll have to face 4 adversaries per movie, with the last opponent being the boss. And the bosses include Apollo Creed 1 and 2, Clubber Lang, Ivan Drago, and Tommy Gunn. There's even a variety of training minigames that are playable in between matches, but most of these are simple button mashers that don't really add much to the experience. You can even skip them and let the computer give you points automatically, and these points can either go to your strength, speed, stamina, determination, or movement. Some of these attributes are more important than others in a fight. Obviously, the most important are strength and speed, but the rest are just afterthoughts or things you don't really need, but you can boost them up later. But once you get into the ring, the real action begins. The main thing that sets Rocky apart from other boxing games is its deep control mechanics. They're so deep, in fact, that I can't really explain them here. Well, I can, just not in a short review like this. Just know that it works well and allows for a lot more strategy than a normal boxing game. This definitely goes beyond mashing buttons for sure. And that's especially clear in the multiplayer mode, which is just plain fun. And I don't really have any problems there. What I do have a problem with, however, is a scoring system. In a match, the computer will always either score an 8, 9, or 10 out of 10. In reality, when someone is knocked down twice in a round, it automatically results in a low score of 7. But in the game, when they're knocked down twice, they still get an 8 somehow. And it's not very hard to get 2 knockdowns, especially on the easier difficulties. The graphics in Rocky are good for 2002, and although some of the cutscenes and animations may look laughable now, they were great for the time. The music, however, is not up to par. Now, I'm not saying anything about the Rocky theme song, it still sounds great, but listening to it over and over, not so great. The voiceovers, though, are pretty realistic and get the job done. You got your officially licensed Sylvester Stallone and Mr. T voice work. So overall, Rocky is an above-average boxing game that gives the fans something to brag about on their GameCube. And if you enjoy boxing games and movies, put 2 and 2 together and you've got one heck of a video game.